सरफिरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. My dear educators, this is Meenakshi Narula, founder, director at Mentoring the Mentors. As you know very well, I keep on sharing with you various innovative, engaging activities that will help you to help your students to reach the ladder of success, to let them be very creative and innovative. You will be able to give your students a platform where they will be able to think out of the box. They can also relate their learning with the real life situations. My dear educators, I have been sharing with you number of activities related to the upcoming events. So in sync with that, today we're going to talk about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. जलियांवाला बाग में जो हत्याकांड हुआ था 13 अप्रैल 1919, 13th April 1919 at Jallianwala Bagh, we're going to talk about some of the activities that we can conduct in the classes so that we can memorize our martyrs also who helped us right now to enjoy the freedom. My dear educators, in the heart of Amritsar town, a garden once bloomed in renown, but on that fateful April day, the bullets came with no delay. Hundreds fell, and many more, their dreams and hopes forever tore. Their sacrifice we shall recall, for they stood tall, we should recall. They did not fall. Their blood, it flows within our veins. Their courage in heart remains. And though the years may come and go, their memory forever aglow. My dear educators, let's talk about some of the activities that we can conduct with our students. In your school, you can conduct a virtual memorial to pay homage to the victims of massacre. Also, you can either invite the guest speakers or you may ask your students to present their thoughts during the morning assemblies during your QCT, that is quality circle time, or maybe during your classes as well. Also, you can have a candlelight vigil also in order to pay homage to the victims. My dear educators, you can show related patriotic movies to your students. The Legend of Bhagat Singh, Gandhi, Kesari, or there are many more other movies as well. You can show it to your students so that they will be able to have number one, the bagless day, and apart from it, they will be able to have, so you see, that kind of learning. Visual learning, visual spatial learning can be done in the classes. You can conduct a panel discussion where either you can invite some of the speakers or you can ask your students to organize a talk show remembering Jallianwala Bagh lessons from history. You're right. So you can invite any historians or experts, or I have already shared with you, you can conduct the same by involving your students as well. You can also have peer tutoring where the senior students, they will be conducting the same for the junior students as well. Also, you can organize essay writing competition in any of the language, maybe regional languages or English language, any of the language, whatever the children they are comfortable with. Right? You can talk about the impact of Jallianwala Bagh massacre on Indian history, or any relevant topics can be given. Right? So, my lovely educators, you can also organize an art exhibition in your school. Organize an art exhibition that will be able to give the students a platform to showcase their artwork related to the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now, reading time, dear program, drop everything and read. If in your classroom, maybe during your library period, the library can organize some newspapers, some magazines, some books related to patriotism, related to Jallianwala Bagh massacre, various poems, essays, and other things, so that students, they will be dropping everything and they will be reading the content related to Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Drop everything and read. So this activity can also be conducted during your languages periods as well. Walking tour, if you are residing nearby, you can conduct a walking tour of Jallianwala Bagh Memorial and the surrounding area. In Punjab, there are other you see religious places, some other historical places too. So accordingly, you can connect the same with that as well. Like there is a Shahidi Samak as well. You can let your students explore that Shahidi Samak. They can talk about that. They'll be able to know more about the stories related to the event. Also, you may ask your children to launch a social media campaign. They can raise awareness about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. You can create various hashtags and also the historical facts, quotations, and images related to the event on social media platforms. You cannot take away mobile phones from your students. You can at least give them a platform. You will be able to guide them how to use it effectively. You know, your students, they are on Insta, they are using some another social media platform. Maybe you even are not aware of what all sort of social media platforms are. So let them share their learning on social media. Let them tweet about it. Okay. Be brief and tweet about it. And you can organize a poetry recitation competition as well. You can ask your children to read the poems related in maybe the particular Punjabi literature, maybe from Hindi literature, maybe in English. They can compose their own poems as well, right? And they can share with each other related to Jallianwala Bagh, related to Khoon Di Holi, right? Any sort of poems, either they can recite or they can compose their own poems as well. Also, to let our students remember those facts, because we cannot forget that day. So make sure you can conduct a quiz competition as well in your classes, right? So this is how very good for the logical thinkers as well. You can either prepare a list of the questions and you can give it to your students to memorize also some of the facts well in advance for the junior students. For the senior students, you can ask them to explore various newspapers and magazines, and you can either you see conduct impromptu on that, or any sort of activity can be conducted in the classes. And my lovely educators, as I've already shared with you, can organize a candlelight vigil at Jallianwala Bagh Memorial, or maybe the same can be conducted at any suitable place, maybe in your school as well. So you can invite participants to light candles and pay their respects to the victims of massacre, right? You can also have a moment of silence to honor the memory of those who lost their lives. So this is how you can conduct the same. You can organize a theater performance that depicts the Jallianwala Bagh massacre or events leading up to it. You can invite the local theater group people if they can come. Otherwise, you should ask your children to present a theater performance on Jallianwala Bagh massacre during the morning assemblies as well. You can also conduct some inter-class or maybe inter-house competitions on the same. You can organize a painting competition and ask the students who have opted for fine arts, who are very good at art and who want to showcase their learning through art and craft, they can show the painting exhibitions as well. You can ask your children, if there is a clay play in your school, the little children, they can also with the play dough, or maybe the senior children with the real clay, what they can do, they can make the sculptures related to Jallianwala Bagh massacre, such as maybe Amritsar massacre memorial, or maybe martyrs well as well. I mean, they can design those things with the clay and with the craft as well, paper craft, cardboard crafts, they can use that, so that when they will be learning by creating these things on their own. So make sure you conduct it. So, my dear educators, you can screen documentaries related to the same event, conduct an art making workshop. After, the participants can create artwork related to the event, as I've already shared with you, like through art, through craft, through clay. I mean, they'll be able to create the same, so that they will be able to empathize like what has exactly happened, right? So my dear educators, you can also organize, give your students a platform to present street plays, or maybe sketching activities also can be organized as per their interest or learning styles. You can also go ahead with the graffiti art workshop, where participants can create graffiti related to Jallianwala Bagh massacre on the public walls, on the buildings, in the school display boards, okay, in the school galleries. This can be a great way to engage participants and also promote street art. So this is something that we are not doing, but you can, after consultation with the community, you can find some suitable places where your students can go ahead and can have graffiti on the street walls. So if we talk about the subject integration, Jallianwala Bagh, obviously when we talk about it, that is the memorable event of our history. So you can conduct a history lesson on Jallianwala Bagh massacre, where students can learn about events leading up to the massacre, the key players involved, and what happened, right? And you can also have a discussion on the impact of the event on Indian history. My dear educators, if I have to relate the same with literature, obviously I will be providing various kinds of literature in different languages to our students when we talk about multilingual classes, right? If the students they are there in your school who know the Punjabi language, because we are talking about Amritsar, so you can provide them some poems in Punjabi too, some literature in Punjabi, so that they will be able to share the same with others in Hindi language, in English language, or maybe any kind of other regional language that we are using in our schools in our area, right? So there are a few poems written by Amrita Pritam, Jallianwala Bagh, right? Or maybe Khundi Holi. So the same can be recited also. Let the children know about different vocabulary terms also for that language. We will be able to connect the same with Bhasha Sangam too. If I talk about geography, let the students study the location of Jallianwala Bagh Memorial and its significance in Indian history. The students they can mark the same on the maps, either manually on the maps, or they can use any, you see, explore the same through Google Maps, or maybe they can locate the same through Padlet also, because in Padlet there's a wonderful option where you will be able to locate different places, and you can then download that also, print it also, like what all places you have already marked, and let the students show their own pictures also, like where, which places they belong to, are there some other places nearby that they have already visited, or any other historical places that they are related to. So this is how you can relate the same with the geographical locations as well. If I talk about art, I've already shared a plethora of art related activities. Maybe it's clay play, maybe it's art integration, maybe you see painting exhibitions, sketching, right? Anything you can conduct, give your students voice of choice. Let them think which medium they would like to opt for to share their learning, their understanding with you. If I talk about civics, or maybe nowadays we talk about political science, have a discussion on the importance of civil rights and democracy in context of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Students can learn about the role of non-violent resistance in achieving social justice, and also discuss the role of citizens in promoting democracy. See, this is how you can talk about democracy. You can talk about our equal rights. Okay, what is the place? You can talk about gender equality. You can talk about you see what is being discrimination that is being held in the society for based on the caste, creed, color. It should not be there, right? So you should talk about that, like let us come up from all those things. Let's move away from these kinds of discrimination, जाति पाति रंग रूप के आधार पर कोई भी किसी तरीके की डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं हो, हर एक के पास अपने राइट्स होने चाहिए, right? You can talk about this. These kinds of discussions can be held in the classes. If I talk about for the junior classes, like we study the same under social studies, right? So conduct the social studies lesson where students they can know about different social, cultural, political factors that led to Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So when we're talking about what all social, cultural, political factors that led to this, so they will be able to think critically, and they can discuss about the impact of the events on Indian society and its relevance to the world. So they'll be able to connect that event globally, right? What was its impact, and what is its impact even right now too, culturally as well, politically as well, and socially too. So this is how you'll be able to let your students think creatively, think out of the box. If I talk about music, let your children recite the rhymes, let your children sing the songs. They can even dance also on various songs. सरफिरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, माए मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला. Various number of patriotic songs are there, right? You know very well in Delhi, we have our Desh Bhakti curriculum too. So you can refer to that also. Some of the other important points, activities you will be able to get from that too. So connect the same with that. Students, they'll be able to learn about the historical context in which music was written, right? That music, and also analyze the themes and symbolisms used in music. Let them ये पोम, पेट्रियोटिक पोम किसने लिखी, कब लिखी, क्यों लिखी, उस समय लोगों में अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने के लिए बहुत सारे इतने पोएट हैं who came up with wonderful patriotic poems, right? ताकि कहीं ना कहीं वो जो दिल में कहीं न कहीं जो सोया हुआ देशभक्ति का, ये इसके लिए जो प्यार है वो जागे, राइट? तो इस तरीके के और कौन से इनिशिएटिव्स हो सकते हैं या कौन से इनिशिएटिव्स लिए गए, यू कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट आल्सो। So, my lovely educators, I hope you liked such activities. You can go beyond too. See, these are just a few activities I have shared with you. I know you must be knowing maybe more than that also. If you know about such more activities, don't forget to share the same in the comment section below. My lovely educators, stay tuned to Mentoring the Mentors. Have a nice day.